Welcome back. Great to see you again here on CruiseAway at Gecko, your daily dose of cruise adventures now, and it's Derek and Joe here to deliver some Pacific cruise adventures, this time with holidays near and far.
That's right. We've got a Trans-Pacific panorama with Carnival for October with a dizzying mix of destinations mixed in. We're also heading from the Merlion of Singapore back to the Opera House of Sydney with Princess Cruises later in the show. First though, let's remind you why so many Aussies trust CruiseAway for their holiday plans.
Here at CruiseAway, we've been sending Australian travellers on amazing cruise holidays for over 25 years. Our award-winning team specialise in bringing you the best deals from all major cruise lines, sailing right across the globe. Whether you're looking to cruise locally or afar, with thousands of unmissable deals available right now, you can be sure we'll find you your perfect cruise holiday. So, if you're ready, let's go cruising.
Yes, that's us. Let's get started on our Pacific travels then, shall we? The Norwegian Cruise Line, and we're heading up to far north Queensland, the South Pacific and Fiji over 20 nights for April. Where can I sign? I'm ready.
I know, right?
Let's start by flying from Sydney to Cairns for a 3-night hotel break there.
We don't see many of these
No.
adventures with a cheeky Cairns trip at the beginning or end, so this is lovely. Of course, one of the hottest destinations for vacation in the whole of Oz. You know, you've got 3 natural wonders when you think about it in Cairns. You have, of course, the Great Barrier Reef, one of the natural wonders of the world. You have got the Marlin Coast, and you've got the Daintree National Park. You can head up to Cape Tribulation, the Corunda Railway up there, and then, of course, heading out on the reef, nothing quite like it. Snorkeling, diving, glass bottom kayak or boat, float plane over the reef. One of the most amazing things you'll ever do. Then it's time to cruise on board the Norwegian Sun. And we're going to be on board for 2 weeks, 14 fabulous nights on the Sun. My old home, I was there for 6 or 7 months back in the day. Love the ship, very relaxed Norwegian ship. You know, Norwegian's known for their mega ships, but this is much more of a mid-size, less than 3,000 passengers. So it's definitely much more low-key and relaxed, and I love that about it. Now, of course, Norwegian coined the term freestyle cruising. They're known for the vibe of, you know, you do what you do when you want to do it. It is not about formality. It's not about having to do things at a certain time. That means you can dine when you want, including the dining room. You can just walk in and go and eat when you want within the times that they're open. And same thing with the theatre shows and whatever you want to do around the ship. Now, when it comes to specialty dining, they've also got some lovely options for you, alongside, which is what is included, the buffet and also the main dining room. You've got Los Lobos Cantina for premium Mexican food, lovely sangria and tacos up there. Churrascaria, which is the traditional Brazilian steakhouse. You've got La Cucina for your Italian. Cagney's Steakhouse, that's delicious, amazing steaks. Teppanyaki, which is that really fun experience where they're kind of like interacting with you while they're cooking the different dishes.
And Joe, very quickly, 2 of the nights you're on this cruise, you'll be enjoying those specialty dining menus included in your fare.
Oh, brilliant.
And more. I'll tell you more later.
Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to Airlie Beach first. Of course, you've spent some time in Cairns. This might be a day to relax and just head to the beach, or maybe you want to see more of the Whitsundays, or indeed take that iconic, sail plane over Hart Reef. Then we're on into Townsville, which is lovely. It's often described as the unofficial capital of North Queensland. You've got Magnetic Island, the Billabong Sanctuary to visit there, the wet tropics rainforest, Flinders Hill, you know, a ton of incredible viewpoints. And then it's Noumea in New Caledonia, the capital, in fact, of New Caledonia. Some tours here you might want to take are the Gibao Cultural Centre, where you can, experience the traditional New Caledonian, tribes and lifestyle. Then we have Lifeu. Now, this is also New Caledonia, and it is 180 miles to the northwest of New Caledonia, the largest of the Loyalty Islands. You've got the incredible ancient Makatea fossilised coral atoll, which is there to visit. Then it's Port Vila in Vanuatu. Oh, Vanuatu, I mean, my goodness, 83 islands in the coral sea of pure paradise. The Tranquility Island and Snorkel is a really lovely tour to do there, in the Cultural Village and Blue Lagoon as well. Then it's Mystery Island, tiny uninhabited inlet originally named Inyung, and it's located in the southernmost end of Vanuatu, dubbed as Mystery Island because during the war it was prevented being seen from air, so it's so small. Then we've got Dravuni Island, and this is a place where you can go and see the incredible volcanoes, but also the lush, gorgeous marine life of the reef. Now you can snorkel, you can dive, you can kayak, you can glass bottom boat, you can float plane. Then we're on into Savu Savu in Fiji, where you can head to the rainforest. You might want to do that whole rainforest experience on tour with a guide that takes you through and talks about the flora and fauna and the ecosystem, which is so interesting. Then on into Suva in Fiji for Rewa Village. That's a well-known trip that you can do there, and again experiencing the local Fijian hospitality. I mean, often when you come into these ports, the locals will sing and dance and welcome you. It's a lovely experience. They're so friendly. Then we have an overnight on board in Latuka and 3 nights in a hotel in pure paradise, I have to say. That's 4 total nights. For stays, this trip really does just come up trumps, because a stay in Cairns and a stay to finish in Fiji is the absolute dream when it comes to tropical weather lovers, because here you'll get to experience some of the local hospitality in the second largest city in Fiji. And it's nicknamed the Sugar City due to its expansive sugarcane plantations. But things to see here include the Nadi Marketplace, if you want to do a spot of shopping, the Nama Factory and Wellness Centre, and the Organic Farm. And then, of course, you have the traditional cultural villages. Then we're going to fly you back to Sydney, Australia, after this amazing and unusual adventure with some incredible stays included.
I know, Lautoka at the end there just looked like one of those places you wanted a lot more than 4 nights there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I could have done 44, I think.
Yes.
Looked beautiful. And the great thing about this is the fact that all of these places are on the doorstep or just over there. Do you know what I mean? When you see them on the map as well, it's like, you know, all the places are round there on, you know, on our shores or just over there. Incredible. So a nice fairly close to home cruise, this one, and a lovely dream away package. So your flight from Sydney over to Cairns included 3 nights in a hotel there, included your 14 nights on the Norwegian Sun, cruising out to Lautoka. You've got the extra overnight on board there and 3 nights in a hotel in Fiji too, and your flight back to Sydney. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because your cruise on this package also includes the full premium drinks package, and with Norwegian it's really comprehensive. It will be the vodkas, the gins, the whatever that you drink that you recognise, the brands will be there at the bar. But as well as the drinks package, you have 2 nights of specialty dining included in your fare. You also have $50 of Sure excursion credit for every single port that you are going into, which is great, because if you're going somewhere you haven't been before, then you've got the chance there with that credit to work towards a wonderful excursion into one of those really, really lovely immersive experiences in those ports. And we also include a Wi-Fi package too. Perfect length of holiday, brilliant ship, great perks on board, lovely places you're going to, not too far away, and a cracking price tag to boot as well. $4,899 per person, which is incredible. And don't forget, of course, you can spread the cost of that holiday. I'll explain that to you in just a moment. But let's look at upgrades first of all. If you want to upgrade from your interior up to your ocean view balcony or the suite, and I have to say the Norwegian Sun, she has been refreshed many times over the years as well. So everything feels very smart, very up to date, very boutique. And it's a really lovely experience. You know, if you are new to Norwegian Cruise Lines, I would urge you, you know, we've got more resources on our website about the ship. There are also videos on YouTube, of course, where you can take a full ship tour if you want to, and that's well worth doing. If you want to see the spaces and the facilities on board, it's really nice to do. And when you've done that, I think you'll just be back to offer, to grab that offer really, really quickly. 1300 407 687 is your toll-free telephone number. I'll talk to you about ways to budget for all of your packages a little bit later on in the show. 1300 407 687 is that number to call right now, though, if you're interested in that offer. Fabulous. So we are taking amazing Pacific cruise adventures in this show, and we're taking a panorama next. I haven't heard that word for ages. Panorama.
It just sounds really kind of tranquil and relaxing, doesn't it?
Yes.
We have a panorama cruise with Carnival for October this year, taking us from Malaysia to Vietnam, the Philippines, Hawaii, and ending in the States. Well, that's an adventure. We start 31 nights away by flying from Sydney over to Singapore for a 2-night hotel stay in fabulous Singapore. Now, for budding botanists or garden lovers, Gardens by the Bay, I have to say, is so much more than kind of a famous space for gardens. You've kind of got this eco-adventure you can do in there, learning about these incredibly rare species of plant. There's nothing quite like it. I think that is going to be really eye-opening. And if you do love beautiful tropical gardens, do head to the botanical garden. That's Gardens by the Bay. I mean, how amazing! It's got its own biosphere. You can head to the botanical gardens where they have a specific UNESCO World Heritage orchid garden, which is unbelievable. I went there many years ago, and it still, plays in my mind. It's magical, really. Then it's time for us to cruise on the fun ship. Yes, the fun ship Carnival Panorama. I can't say Carnival today. We're going to be on board for 25 nights. Now, they call them fun ships for a reason. Carnival is literally about that carnival atmosphere. Think Mardi Gras, think Brazilian Carnival, but in a kind of more low-key, shall we say, controlled environment. So it's so much fun that the fun is infectious. And everywhere you go, there is music, there's games happening. It's just a fabulous family adventure Carnival cruise line, or couples adventure. You've got lots of activities to do on board. Now, this is something that Carnival are really good at ensuring that you have. The ropes course, for example, which is high above the ship with 2 levels of challenge. You've got mini golf with a well manicured fairway with cactus, treasure chest, windmill to navigate with the whole family, which is fantastic. They have the mega deck parties as well on the open air Lido deck, where the DJ, the cruise director, and the entertainment team keep everybody moving with games, challenges, giveaways, line dances. I used to teach line dances back in the day when I was working on ships. It's so
brilliant.
Much fun, though.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I mean, the fun that you have is completely and utterly infectious. Listen, if you've been on the Splendor around our own shores, on Panorama, turn that volume up. Turn that fun up, turn that facility up, because you've got everything you would enjoy on Splendor and so much more on actually a slightly bigger ship as well. Loads and loads of choices of places to eat. And do you know what I love about Carnival? And I always say everything, but specifically is the fact that every time you move into a different space, a lounge, a bar, a restaurant, a theatre, whatever it might be, they're all completely different.
They're all completely
There's
different.
not a theme that runs through the whole thing.
It's very Vegas, like you go and you see, or Gold Coast casinos, that kind of feel about it, right? So you go in and you've got all these fun, really like it is Harlequin Carnival atmosphere everywhere you go. Then we are cruising into Ho Chi Minh as our first port of call. Fabulous Vietnam, of course. This is your gateway to the seaside resort of Vung Tau, as well as Ho Chi Minh City, once known as Saigon. You've got the Mekong Delta not too far away. That's a great excursion to do. Then we're on to Kota Kinabalu in Malaysia, the capital of Malaysia's Sabah state, and it's in part of the island of Borneo, in fact. It is known for its lovely rainforest, its bustling markets, its boardwalks, its beaches. You might want to stroll around and enjoy those. Then it's Manila, Philippines, of course, heart of the Philippines, the capital, or known as the Pearl of the Philippines, which comprises 7,000 islands. You've got the volcanoes, you've got the great shopping there as well to visit. It's very tropical. Guam's next, famed for its military bases, but it's actually a lovely tropical hidden gem paradise for vacationers. Micronesian nation, which offers white sand beaches, exotic wildlife, and great history, actually. We're on into Honolulu next, in fabulous Oahu, Hawaii, where you can visit Waikiki Beach, world famous for the surfing and sailing, but there's Pearl Harbor there for history as well, which is so worth a visit, and lots more. Then we are into Maui, beautiful Maui, where you can see the Lau Valley State Monument, or head over perhaps to the Halikala National Park, and they do a great sunrise tour there with breakfast you could do, or sunset depending on the time of import, and the road to Hana also. Then we're finishing up in Los Angeles. We're disembarking and we're going to have 2 nights in LA before you head back to Sydney, so a little bit close to home in terms of, you know, your flight as well, which is great. Now I tell you what, LA is so much fun. It's more low-key than other parts, you know, other cities like New York, for example, but there's tons to see and do. You've got Sunset Boulevard, which you've got to go to. Then you have Hollywood Boardwalk, where you can see the Avenue of the Stars. You can head to the Kodak Theatre, the Grauman's Chinese Theatre as well. Got to take that selfie next to, you know, the Hollywood sign, haven't you? And enjoy some, you know, great beach time as well in Santa Monica and Venice. Lovely city, great itinerary, and really unusual ports on there that we don't see very, very often as well.
There were so many songs that came into my head then while we were going through LA. It's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, this is just a fabulous holiday. I mean, talk about variety. It's ridiculous, isn't it? And I can't think of a better partner for you, for your travel, than Carnival, because you've got good chunks of sea days there. I mean, you cross over from Maui to LA, 5 days at sea. There will be the 5 of the busiest days you probably have of the whole holiday, let me tell you, because you'll want to get involved in all the entertainment and activities that happen on board, because there's just so much going on, and you can be literally just out on a pool deck and then randomly something pops up or catches your attention, and then suddenly you're congering around the ship. It's crazy, but it is brilliant. Let me tell you, it is the most infectious fun. Listen, I can't remember. I know my producer can remember. We went on I think a 5-night cruise on Carnival Breeze, and it was which year, Mr. Producer? 2011. Yeah, 2011. Yes, and so that's what, 13 years ago. My smile is still as wide now, remembering that cruise from 13 years ago. And you know what? A lot will have changed since then on board, for the better, for the newer, which is incredible. I can't wait to go back. I'd love to come with you on this one, actually, because the journey itself is ridiculously good, isn't it? Included in the package price, your flight Sydney to Singapore, you've got 2 nights in a hotel there and 25 nights of cruising on Carnival Panorama. Going to be amazing. Cruising to Vietnam, Malaysia, the Philippines, Hawaii, and then ultimately to Los Angeles. That's where you leave Panorama. You've got 2 nights there in a hotel. Longer if you like, just add it to the package, and then your flight from LA back to Sydney. In fact, let's start with our price for the holiday as it's packaged up right now with the 2 nights in LA. That's brilliant. I would definitely add a couple more nights in LA. Not a million miles away from LA. We mentioned it earlier, actually, when we were talking about the ships. Vegas is an hour flight away from LA. You might want to consider a few nights in Vegas on this trip as part of it. Well worth it, guaranteed. Here's the upgrade prices for the cruise as well. Listen, I can't take this smile off my face, and that's me remembering every day and every night. In fact, the first night turned into the next morning. It was that good. It was brilliant. And
Yep.
we were in the club until I think it was yes, it was daylight again. So that must have been what, 4 or 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
It was daylight again, and that was brilliant, and that set the tone for the entire crazy cruise. It was brilliant though, loved it, and so will you with Carnival. It is very, very infectious, the fun on board. It's not just a tacky tagline, it's not just a marketing buzzword. It's a reality on board. They are superb. And let's remember that the Carnival Corporation are the biggest cruising company in the world, so they pretty much know how to do it. It's amazing. Anyway, listen, get it booked. 1300 407 687. It's not very often I tell you to do something, but get it booked because you'll love it.
And that's not,
absolutely love
I mean, that's not even touching on the great pizza and burgers they have on board.
Oh, guys, burgers. Oh.
The pizza. I'm obsessed. Anyway, we have another one for you. Finally, in today's show, one of the most popular packages when it comes to cruising in Oz. We're flying over to Singapore and sailing back to Sydney. And this time, we're sailing with Princess Cruises on the Crown Princess, famous for her world cruising. Now, we're going to start our 21 nights on the 2nd of November next year by flying from Sydney to Singapore for a 2-night hotel stay first.
Here we go again, over to lovely Singapore.
Yes.
Gorgeous, gorgeous city. This is another city where you could go 1,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough. There'd still be another turn, another corner, another attraction, another something to see. And so many people, just literally, I mean, Singapore I know is a great little hub airport as well. So often people lay over for a few hours in the airport.
With a butterfly garden.
Yes, of course. But they don't see the city, and then they fly to somewhere else.
That's so true.
And it gets overlooked. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous city. And of course, it is a coastal city as well. So you have amazing kind of boardwalk attractions there. Clark's Quay is there. You've got all the big hotels. You've got to go to Raffles, of course, even if you've done the Singapore thing before. If you've done it before, do it again. And lots of varied experiences that you can have while you're there. Very, very nice city. Go fishing while you're there, why not, as well. And then we've got cruise time. Crown Princess, 19 nights. As Joe says, the Crown Princess is the ship that year by year does the world cruise for Princess.
Yeah.
So the crew on board are so worldly wise because they've seen it all.
Yeah, they have seen it all. So you're going to get great tips from your crew. Alongside, when you're on board, they do a presentation in the theatre which talks you through all the ports of call. They have a travel guide, so they'll talk you through all the ports, but they'll also give you tips on the shore excursions. So it'll allow you to pre-plan before you even get into port. Not everyone likes to do that, but some of us like to have at least a few excursions booked.
It's really useful, to go to one of those presentations for a place that you've never been to before, find out a little bit more about it, because these presentations, they're not like 3 hours long. They don't take up half your day.
No.
They're about 45 minutes, and you can ask questions as well, and that's another great thing. I've heard about the so-and-so in Bali, is it worth going to? You can ask the guide there and then.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really useful, because that informs your decision whether I'm going to book up those excursions or I'm going to make my own way there. Listen, there's loads and loads of resources out there. You can go to TripAdvisor, Lonely Planet. There's loads of places on the internet where you can find information. You can hear from people who've cruised to places before, who visited things before. So you can do your own homework. But hang on a minute, isn't this a holiday?
Yes,
I kind of don't want to have to do my homework.
Yeah.
I left school a long time ago, and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah, no, this is the great thing about cruising. There's no pressure. And by the way, if you like to keep fit whilst you're on board, they have a fully equipped gym. They do exercise classes that you can sign up for as well. Everything from spinning to Zumba, usually offered on board, alongside the professional dancers in the cast leading you through dance classes, your shore excursions, your cruise excursions team, and your entertainment team, ensuring that you have things that activities jam-packed into the schedule that are available if you want to take advantage or not. It's totally up to you because you're on a cruise.
I've just had a thought here as well, because we are flying out to Singapore, but of course ultimately we're sailing back to Sydney. If we want to do a little bit of shopping, we are getting towards that time of the year where you might be thinking gifts for a certain date in December. Then of course you can bring that all back without the usual limits for the airport, which is good to know. So let's kick off our 19-night cruise then out of Singapore.
Yes, first port is Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of fabulous Malaysia. From a lawless huddle of jungle through to this bustling metropolis, this city is really transformed, and you actually get to experience the old meets new when you head to Batu Caves or the big tower. Then we're on to Benua, which is the port for Bali, where you can visit the famous monkey forest in Ubud and some fabulous silversmithing workshops down there as well. It's known for the yoga and relaxation. And then the lovely, of course, jungle. Then we're on to Fremantle. Perth, of course, you have got some the incredible wineries there and craft breweries. Swan Valley is known for the wineries. Head to Fremantle Prison because it's iconic. You've got to go there whilst you're in Fremantle. On into Adelaide next, the 20-minute city, of course known for the Barossa Valley, and you could do a wine tour while you're there, but you might want to head into town and enjoy some of the shopping and markets, whilst you're down in Adelaide as well. Melbourne's next, where you can head to the Great Ocean Road or up to Puffing Billy perhaps in a day. It's doable. Then, of course, don't forget Federation Square. Massive transformation of South Bank that's happened over the last couple of decades is well worth a visit as well. We're into Hobart, Tasmania next, which is, I think it's going to be a nice relaxing day for you. You can head to the Bonorong Sanctuary for wildlife, or perhaps the botanical gardens, which are world famous, absolutely beautiful. Then we're going to cruise into Sydney, where we'll just literally stroll off the ship. You can speak to our team about national flights should you need them, but a nice, easy breezy cruise itinerary for you. I love this one.
Yeah, and considering it's slightly closer to home, this one, still 3 weeks. That's a good holiday, isn't it? That's what you need sometimes. Sometimes you just need to break the cycle of the ordinary, don't you? And just go and do something completely and utterly different. Maybe you've never cruised before. And maybe you're thinking, actually, I like the sound of those places. I like the breadth of that travel in one trip. And remember, you fly over to Singapore, then that's your travel kind of done then, isn't it? A couple of nights there in a hotel, then you've got your 19-night cruise back, where you only unpack once, enjoy all the different places, enjoy the relaxing days at sea, and then end up in Sydney. You can book this whole offer today with a deposit, by the way, $250 each today as a deposit. Gets this locked in for you, and the price includes obviously your flight from Sydney to Singapore, the 2 nights in a hotel there, and the 19-night cruise on the Crown Princess as well, which cruises us all the way back to Sydney. Let's check out the price, shall we? It's brilliant for that low deposit. $250 each today to lock in that price tag now. And remember, we're looking into the future. We're talking November of next year, so we're just over a year away from this. So you could split the cost if you want to into 6 or 12 equal payments with travel pay later as well, and budget for it that way, which is even easier. Let's check out the upgrades then on board the Crown Princess, going from your interior up to your ocean view and your balcony prices there, which are very, very good. If you've never been on a cruise before and you fancy the balcony experience, it's amazing. Let me tell you, it's not just about having it, but it's the feeling that it kind of gives you. It feels like the complete package. I'm not saying that for any loaded reason. I will not make a cent in commission out of this show. So whether you go for the best price for the interior or whether you go for the biggest suite on the ship, to me it makes no difference whatsoever. I want you to have the best holiday you can. Talking of that budgeting, talking of travel pay later, let's give you the details of that. You can apply this to any of the offers, by the way, with CruiseAway. Very easy to sign up, by the way, so a simple and quick application. It allows you, with no upfront payment cost, to split the cost of the holiday down into 6 or 12 monthly instalments, which is brilliant. And it's interest free as well. There are a couple of admin charges, but essentially it is interest free. So if you want to know more about that, talk to our amazing team on 1300 407 687. And it means actually you can get more adventures kind of, hooked up and in the diary. So
absolutely,
it allows easy management today, but more plans for tomorrow.
Yeah, some really great itineraries that we've offered you in this little show, and of course we have more shows coming up. Do check the website as well, cruiseaway.com.au, and there are, my goodness, just thousands of offers on there for you to choose from. Wherever you want to go in the world, we've got it covered end to end. You don't really have to think about much other than putting that deposit down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe and I will see you back here for another show to Cruise Away very soon. Bye-bye.
Catch you later.